I'm just waiting for Brad to arrive with our coffees. Speak of the devil. We thought our coffee machine had broken this morning. It was nearly panics, but we didn't have to panic. We fixed it. And, oh, his son. For those of you who are not Australian, this is the only kind of coffee that's an appropriate kind of coffee. I'm gonna show you again. I don't want to hear anything else. Okay, good.
Classic Aussie coffee snobs.
Coffee snobs. We've done a lot of repetitive things in the last few months, which is making cabinetry,
After cabinetry. And
I have been just painting, and you'll see some of that to come when we're in the middle of putting those videos together. It's been a lot of work and a lot of repetitive work, so we thought we would break it up a little bit and do a bit of a fun video, which is going to be our coffee bar drawer organization video.
These things are like really great to do, but they do just take up time, and when you don't prioritize it through the actual renovation or through doing the work itself, it can seem like an endless task to do right at the end.
Yeah.
So
and then you don't do it and you just shove everything in.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, we should have put that detail in, and we should have thought about it before we sort of just went, oh, well, it'll be fine, we'll sort of just throw things together. So if you've ever got the opportunity to do it, we recommend you absolutely do it.
Yeah.
And do it in that moment. Otherwise, it'll pass and you'll regret not doing it.
And really think about exactly your functional needs of the thing that you're designing. I think in the age of like kind of over-organization, you can kind of set yourself up to fail a little bit if you're like, I want 5 syrup glasses or jars, but then you are stuck with the maintenance of filling them up and making sure they're full. And if you're not going to use them, like if that's not your normal day-to-day use, it's just another thing you have to maintain. So try to make them like as functional for your current day needs as possible. There are only a few things we want in our top drawer of our coffee bar area. So the second drawer is set aside for mugs, easy access for our everyday mugs. And the other things we want are things like these little containers to put in loose leaf teas and sugars, etc., that we're going to want to have access easily to. This comes off. I'm not a big fan of that, but this comes off and you have just a little jar with a wooden lid. This is fully sealable, airtight container, and it has the little spoon on the side to get out your loose leaf tea or your sugar or whatever you might need. These are really handy, and we have 3 of these for loose leaf teas, so this is definitely a must. The other things that we want in the drawer is this glass straw collection. So Brad and I have a whole lot of smoothies, especially in summer. And so we always like to drink them through a glass straw. We used to use stainless steel straws, but I like to be able to see with my own eyeballs that they're clean. So I prefer the glass ones. So we are going to make sure we have a spot for our glass straws for easy access in summer when we're drinking a lot of smoothies. We also have like teaspoons for our coffee bar area. Obviously spoons need to be in very easy access, and we just got these really cute little gold ones. And then we just need to make sure we have a lot of different microfiber cloths, because this is a coffee bar, but coffee and tea bar, but also it's like a cocktail bar for when we entertain. Obviously it's a wet bar, we're going to have a sink there. We want to make sure that we can clean up easily and we're not running to the kitchen side of the room to clean up. How did I nearly forget this little pouring jar? So Brad and I do love a syrup. We have lots of hazelnut, vanilla syrups, especially around Christmas time in our coffees. It's something that's a bit special, and people come over, they like a syrup in their coffee. So we bought these little golden tipped pouring jars to keep the syrups in there. There are only really 3 or 4 syrups that we like to have, so I didn't want to go overboard, so we're going to have 4 of these, then the jars, and everything should be within balance. So we'll add these in as well. So I've drawn in some designs, and what we'll be using is pine in order to make our spaces. So we decided not to buy pre-made spaces because we want to be able to custom build this and have it really fixed and strong because of the wear and tear. Sometimes I find that those expandable spaces, they can be really good for things like sock drawers and undie drawers where it's not really high wear and tear, but because this is going to be an area we access all the time, we want this to be really sturdy. So we're going to be using a pine and just building it in and fixing it off so we don't have to worry about them getting knocked out of place, etc., etc. And that means that we get to be really specific about what we want for these drawers. So Brad's just building the border now to put around the outsides so that we can fix it all off. And then we're going to start building the internals. So essentially what we're doing here is Brad showed the bottle. We are going to have, down a bit, we're going to have 4 of these syrup bottles in a row, but we want to make sure they don't roll around in the drawer. So what are we going to do, Brady?
We're going to do this piece with a small, slight little notch out just in the top here, so that where it sits onto the top of that little dividing piece there, it's going to help lock it in place. And then each of them will be nicely spaced all the way along there. So we don't want it to go too far down, otherwise these almost lay flat. So we want them to kick up on a bit of an angle, but we don't want them to roll around. So just a slight little curve in the top there just to help lock it in place. Timber we've got here.
So we've added in the jars, and it actually is working very well.
Getting a bit tight though.
She's getting a bit tight.
Probably should have bought more timber.
We always do this.
I was like, yeah, 2 will be enough.
I'd rather be looking at it than for it, Brad.
See that your spoons are nice and small in the middle. And then you've got a larger area for cloths and tea bags.
Cloths, spoons, tea bags, straws, and then the syrups. That's looking cute. We are starting to, I'm sitting here being a vibe, and Brad is putting together being a vibe. You never underestimate the role of the vibe maker.
The woo girl.
The woo girl.
I would say.
Did you need this? Because you handed it to me, and I think you did need it.
Absolutely.
It's the one with the sticky bit.
Oh yes, the one we've made worse.
Much worse. My job was to get rid of the stickiness of the sticker that was on the wood, and I sanded it, and it feels like it's just melted the glue into the wood, and it made it much worse.
It has. You should engage in story time with a little bit of methylated spirits and clean that up.
I hate these kind of jobs. Okie dokie. So I'm going to get rid of this stain with the metho. Brad's going to put together our internal dividers. And we were having a chat about why we love the idea of storage. And I think it's because we've never really
Had any.
I don't think that's an unfamiliar story to most people. They're just in older houses and smaller houses, there just does not seem to be storage built in. Our first house was a 1-bedroom shoebox in the city where we had an esky for a couch for quite a while and literally no storage, like barely a cupboard, I would say. The kitchen was very old and was falling apart and very pokey. There was no storage or cupboards in the one living area, and the bedroom was teensy tiny and it's all concrete, so very little scope to do much in those spaces. And so for us, building our little dream house over here, we really want organisation and storage. And when you have places where things have a home, it's much easier to keep things clean. Much easier. I haven't done anything with this.
Well, you need to do something with it.
I don't really want to get metho on anything. It's just a bottle,
just get your finger in there.
I'm not putting metho on my finger.
No, see what you've grabbed is terps. It should work though.
What's the difference between metho and terps?
No, terps is working pretty good. There you go. Look, I've actually just done the entire job for you.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
But that's worked out great.
That worked really well. So, job done. Job done!
Jeez,
I'm on it today.
Good at what you do.
I know, I'm brilliant. We're now figuring out how we want to put a little notch in this part. I don't really want them bunched up like that though.
No, I'm only doing that to figure out how to do the spacing for it.
So that they don't slip around. Looking so good though. Look how good that looks. How cute does the little wiggles look? Does it work?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it does work.
Love it.
We can figure out exactly where we want.
In here will be tea bags. So thank you for joining us on this just delightful little video. It's so nice to do one little project beginning to end in one day, and it's brought me a lot of joy, and we have this glorious sunshine coming in, and we get a little glimpse of what it's going to be like back here when we live back here in the winter and the autumn time, and it's beautiful.
Such a good time of year. It's so
Stunning.
beautiful. Like, especially on these days, you've got Bluebird Day.
Ah.
It's pretty chilly outside, but the
Yes.
good thing about this house now is that it can hold its heat. So
Exactly.
we haven't run the heater since this morning, so it's like cozy, it's warm, it's a Sunday.
I actually cannot wait until we're using our coffee drawer, making ourselves a little coffee and sitting in the sun. It's going to be a delight. But thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll be back with some big projects coming up. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, because we're very excitingly building our channel, and we will see you in the next one.
See you soon.
Bye.